Hello everyone and welcome back to Kwansima Vibes. I am so excited to be recording this because we do have some new family members and I am so excited to have you guys on board. Thank you so much. I did post a little celebratory video about my 50 plus subscribers. Welcome to the family. We're vibing. Actually did use an unreleased song, and to my left, I guess depending on how you're watching the video, the artist sat next to me. So if you're interested to know who the artist is, let's hit that 1 million subscription and I will release him to you easy. It's Kwansima Vibes. 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 Welcome back, you guys. Day 24. Now, day 24, I feel like there's a lot of context that I need to share with you prior to us getting into the story, because the activities are just straightforward, but there's just so much that I had to deal with. This is the most tumultuous era of my travel. So first of all, I was leaving Athens, Greece to go to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Yes, Saudi Arabia, that country. Arabian Nights, that's Saudi Arabia. As I was traveling, one of my friends who lives in Dubai kept telling me, oh, come to Dubai, change your plans. And I'm like, dude, I can't just get up and change plans. These things are pre-booked. Who's going to pay for the extra flight for a last minute flight to Dubai from Athens? Like, hey, not me. So leading to me going to Saudi Arabia, I just know one person, an old friend of mine that I've known for years. And I had let him know ahead of time to say, I will be coming there. Now, prior to that, I had shared with him many years ago that if I ever decided to travel the world, I will put Saudi Arabia on my list to come visit him because we haven't seen each other in years. Fast forward, I make this decision. I let him know prior to me booking the flight, prior to me booking my hotel for Saudi Arabia, even prior to me applying for a visa to go to Saudi Arabia. So I definitely pre-planned on my end. I gave him the dates and I said, these are the dates, block the time off your calendar, take days off so then you will be available because I am going to come all the way from America to come visit you. So please be there. Now, a few days before I got to go to Saudi Arabia, first ordeal was I found out that he said he was business traveling, so he wouldn't be available. I do not know anybody in Saudi Arabia, so already going there, that was going to be a bit tough for me because I understood that the culture is a bit different. I wanted to be careful and I was thinking, what do I do? Because I mainly chose this country because it was on the way to the next country that I was most excited about, and we'll get to that next episode. But that was the biggest change for me, and at the time I was thinking, should I just skip it altogether? But looking at the cost and everything, I just felt like I wasn't ready to make that investment, so I decided I will still go. Now, the second thing that happened was the airline of choice. So as an American airline partner member, I love American Airlines. So many people say things about it like luggage and flight delays and all of those things. I have had nothing but great experience with American Airlines since I've been a partner member, and I love it. So I was thinking for my travels, even though it was quite expensive for some of the options, I decided that I wanted to fly One World Airlines. So this is how I arrived at choosing Qatar Airways for my flight. Now, I've seen great things about Qatar. People say all these amazing things about their first class. Yes, it was not a first class flight. However, I was just slapped in the face with a lot that I am about to unpack for you. But before we get to Qatar, let's just pause there before we get there. So, day 24, I let the hotel know that I'll do a late checkout because my flight wasn't until 7:30-ish p.m. So then I wanted to do a late checkout. Then I'll spend the remainder of my time in the lounge and then I would board my plane. So they allowed me to do a late checkout because I did have membership with the hotel. And then they got me a taxi. I got to the airport, and first thing, red flag. When I got there, because it's a partner airline, they don't really have a check-in desk, and they open, I believe, 3 hours before the plane leaves. So now I've arrived at the airport quite early, and I had to sit there. I had to sit there the whole time just waiting for them to open the check-in desk, where you actually just go and check your bags before you go behind, go through security and all of that. So that alone was a long thing, right? Long. Then they finally come and open the kiosk. I go to check my bags. You all have seen the number of bags that I have carried this whole time. Not once have I complained about anything. But if you don't know this, just take this as your saving grace, because I wish that this information was clear to me prior to me booking this flight. Why would I get to Qatar Airlines and they charged me 400 euros, almost 400 euros for one checked bag? So apparently you get 25 kilos free, and anything after that, the prices that you see is actually per kilo. Per kilo. No airline does that. This is the time of the heightened tariffs. The US dollar wasn't that strong. I almost cried. And get this, you don't even get to go to Riyadh straight away, because they have to take you to Doha and take you from Doha to Riyadh. 6-hour flight when it could actually take 4 hours to get to Riyadh from Athens. I go to the lounge, I eat a little bit, and then I board my flight. So once I get to Doha, getting to the connecting flight was also another nightmare. While I get it that it's a huge airport and it's beautiful in Qatar and people are amazed by it and they have gardens in the airport, great. But if I tell you the amount of time that I had and how much running I had to do and walking just to get to the next gate for my connecting flight, it was bizarre. I just didn't understand why they would just put two extreme gates together. Like, it's a connecting flight, it should be close by. But anyway, this might just be my frustration coming out. But in me recounting this story, just feels like I'm reliving the whole thing. So here I am running through the Doha airport and I catch my flight. Then as I finally get to the transiting flight, the next flight to go to Riyadh, I suddenly remembered that I left something important in my hotel. In Athens, I had left something. This whole time that I spent waiting around the kiosk to check my bag. All of this wasted time, you man. Not even remembering once that I had left something, because that was enough time for me to go back to my hotel, pick up the item, come back, and then go to Saudi Arabia. Did not remember until I was in Doha going to Riyadh. Okay, so I arrive in Riyadh day 25 because I left the night of day 24 in Athens, and I arrived in Riyadh. It was 6 a.m. and I'm looking for an Uber so I could just get to my hotel. I am still spent, I'm tired, I'm exhausted from all of these ordeals. And I go outside and then they say, oh, we're Uber drivers, but we prefer for you to just pay us directly as opposed to, through the Uber app, because Uber takes all this money, yada, yada. Hey, I am not a snitch, okay? I'm just telling you how it is, because I was a bit uncomfortable about it because, one, I'm traveling by myself. My friend already disappointed me. I don't know this land. I don't speak Arabic. So I was a bit uneasy about it, and I decided to take a leap of faith, and I said, God, into your hands I put myself. Right? Take the wheel, Lord. And I got into this Uber. The driver took me to the hotel. He gave me his number. He said if I wanted to go anywhere, I could call him. He could take me around. So when I got to my hotel room, the very first thing that I did was shower and then book an activity so I could do something later in the day, because I still had the entire day ahead of me. I booked a tour for the afternoon. So when I woke up, the activity guide person had texted me to say, I'll pick you up at this time. They were changing the time to 2 p.m. from 1:30 or something like that. And I'm like, fine, you know, that gives me more time. So I showered again and I got ready to go to the desert. So he picks me up. He's like, we're going to pick some others. And I said, cool. So I sat in the front seat and then we went to pick up a family with a father and son. And actually, I'm glad that I did this tour because he also had a plug for a resort. So like a sand dunes resort sort of thing. And it was very quiet. He also brought us chilled water. So he had a nice chest that had water in it because clearly it's hot out there with all the sand and the wind. He brought us water and he also brought us tea. Arabic tea, and he took us to this desert, the resort, and we were able to do camel riding, ATV. That was really, really fun, and I was starting to forget my troubles, right? Honestly, I had a good time, and he brought some Arabic treats. And we're like, oh, what else can we do? Can we have some, you know, traditional Arabic meal or whatever? And he's like, sure, I've got you. You had the option of sitting on the floor or sitting by a table. We did try to do the floor thing, but I wasn't really on with it. So were the other tourists that were with me, so we opted for the table. And the way that we ate was a joint thing. I think they have a lot of communal eating. So when you order the food, we were meant to share. And that was an interesting experience. So after he dropped me off, I was so tired and I just went straight to bed. Day 26 was just a tough day because I still had to deal with the situation of me leaving that very important item in Greece that I needed to retrieve. I reached out to my hotel. They said, it's okay, we'll send you a link. You know, you fill the form and then you have somebody come pick it up and mail it to you and all these things. And as I was trying to look through the instructions, then they just started having all these exceptions. That's what was most important, what I needed to get. It was just going to be a nightmare trying to have that chase me to another country because Saudi Arabia was meant to be a short stay. So as I looked into the rules about getting things into the next country that I was going to, that also started looking too much. So I made the decision that I am just going to go back to Greece physically and then retrieve the item from the hotel before I need to catch my next flight to the next country. Yes. So I wake up, I wear, there's this one outfit that I just thought it was the perfect choice outfit for my Saudi Arabia run. So I wore that and I just thought, what am I going to do during the day? What activities could I do? So Saudi Arabia, I must say, Riyadh is a beautiful city. It's almost like demarcated perfectly. You have your sandy area, then you have your settlement, the houses, you have the city buildings. It's so beautiful. And there's a sky bridge that you can go in and you see the entire city almost. When I came down from the building, which was a mall, where the sky bridge was, there's this place called Joe and the Juice. We have that in Chicago and they do have that in Riyadh. And I was like, let me go eat that. That was my first kind of snack. I had a little sandwich and then some juice. Then I looked up, where I could get my nails done and I found a place. I called in. They said, yeah, I could come in. So that was really got my nails done. It was really cute, very nice. So my spirits were lifting up, I will say. Once I got back, I needed to pack because that day was when I had to leave to go back to Greece. So later that night, I had to catch a flight at 2 a.m. So the very first thing that I had to do was leave my luggage behind because having to lug them all back to Greece and back would cost me more. So I just paid to get my luggage stored in the Riyadh airport. Then I went to board my flight for 2 a.m. But before I did spend time in the lounge. I leave Riyadh 2 a.m., catch a flight, get to Greece, Athens. I get there 7 a.m. Then I rush quickly, you guys, I rush quickly to the train station. I buy a day pass, which gives you a limited time to go to the city and back to the airport. So I buy that. And then I go straight to my hotel because at this point, I'm kind of familiar with the area. I go straight to Caphesia. They were already waiting downstairs with my stuff because I called them. I said I was coming. They gave it to me. I went back to the station, took the train, came back to the airport in the nick of time, you guys, in the nick of time. I was so proud of myself. Literally, when I got to the train station to check out with that ticket, it had just expired, but then they just let me through, and I was like, thank God. So at this point, I was so tired. Then I went to a different lounge. So the very first time when I was leaving Greece, I tried one of the lounges. Then the second time I went to SkyServe, I believe. And man, I slept the whole time. I woke up, refreshed myself, did everything I needed to do, then had a little snack before I got onto my plane back to Riyadh. I got back to Riyadh because I had a flight at 10:51 to go to another country. So I did all of that, headed back to the Riyadh airport, and the crazy thing, you guys, I got lost because I got off and I thought I was coming off the same terminal that I took to leave. Come to find out, I was at a different terminal and had already come out. So then I'm looking for where I stored my bags, and I realized, my Foley, and I'm like, where is this terminal? Man, I had to exit the airport. I'm looking for it. I had to walk all the way to the next airport. I was out of breath. And as I was walking, man, I was out of breath so bad. Like, the weather was so much for me, but I had to persevere. Finally made it to the terminal, went down to the basement, got my bags, and I went to check my bags for the flight that I was meant to take. Then after that, I went behind, went to the lounge again in Riyadh, watched my show, and I waited for my flight to the next country. You guys, the things that I went through throughout this whole travel, but God. We learn, right? We go through experiences and we learn from them. And I share all of this not out of spite, but to give you the knowledge, because you can always plan for something to go great, but things might not always go the way that you expect them to go, and that is also okay. Well, that's a long story, isn't it? Well, thank you for watching. Really appreciate your continued support. Thank you so much. Make sure you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, you can go ahead and comment down below what are some of the woes you've gone through for your travels. Don't forget the most important thing, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Shukra. Bye.